Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Monster Legends episode, and yes, another unboxing video, this time bronze relics. Originally I thought I wouldn't do it because it was way too many chests. However, I decided if I did gold and I did silver, I might as well do bronze. For all of you guys that don't have enough relics or are just beginning to get relics, you can see which relics, which bronze relics specifically, are the good ones. So without further ado, 141 chest opening video, let's go. And I'm going to be clicking skip. So this is the best bronze relic that comes to mind, Healing Amulet. When the trend starts, if warrior's life is below 50%, they are healed by 350 points to uses. This relic is amazing. I have two of them at level 25. Bronze relics can only go to level 25 max. And then I have another one currently at level 18. And eventually that one will be 25. I might get a fourth one. And you really don't need to have 4 relics, considering you can unequip them and equip them to whatever monster you want. But the thing is, I always have a monster on defense that uses an amulet. And I hate having to go into my reliquary, unequipped it from my monster on defense, equipped it on the monster for war defense, and then unequipped it during the attack phase. And it's just too much work, so I kind of want to have a relic that's always there on my monster and I never touch it. And then I want to have at least 2 for wars. And I feel like I might need an extra one just in the near future. So eventually I'm going to have 4 maxed out. But really you only need at least 2 because there are monsters that can hold double amulets. So be sure to do that. Not to mention, in a Team Wars, it's very possible that maybe you have 3 monsters, each of which can hold an amulet, in which case you want to give each of them a healing amulet maxed out, and then maybe one of them can hold 2. So it doesn't kill you to have 4, but it's not really a necessity. Anyhow, I'm really glad I got on the first try. This is the best relic, the best bronze relic, and honestly, it's even better than some silver and some gold relics. So if you have the healing amulet, do not fuse it. You want to keep it and you want to level it up. You want to max it out all the way. Alright, let us continue. Next is the Charging Armor. After being hit, if the wearer's stamina is below 25%, it gains 25 points of stamina. So this relic is useful if you want to counter a monster that can do stamina devours. For the majority of players, that's going to be to counter General Thetes. If you have a monster that can hold the Charging Armor, and you don't have a superior relic like the Energizing Staff or like the Energy Mask, if you only have bronze relics, this is the way to go. I would say don't focus on maxing this out. Only level up this relic up until the point to where you can use one attack maybe, and hopefully that attack is a team stamina generation or something that can just restore stamina for yourself and your teammates. You really don't want to focus, other than the healing amulet and maybe some other bronze relics, you really don't want to focus on maxing them out, because if you do max them out and then you fuse them, they give you so little experience points that it's not worth it. So that's my advice for that. Let's see what else I get. Earth Shaking Shield. When the turn starts, if any ally is stunned, 350 points is given to a random ally. So I don't like anything that involves random allies. And this is one of those things that is definitely fusion material. However, you could use it if you don't have anything better to use. Why not just equip it? 350 points, that'll rarely ever save you. But then I'm also talking from the perspective of my own experience. If for those of you that are new, that are maybe level 30 or 40, and in those cases maybe 350 points of armor is really significant, in which case it can help you. But you really shouldn't fuse any relics into this. This is going to be fusion material. So let us continue. Whoops, I opened up a free chest, and look at that, little fairy cap cells. So this move down here. Let's see what else I get. Flaming swords. I think I've said this before. The swords are pretty trash. These are automatic fusion material. After hitting the target is burning, it deals 90 points of fire damage to affected enemy. That's not a lot. But again, in the meantime, if you have nothing better to use, you might as well. You never know, the enemy could have 89 HP left, and you have enough thanks to the sword to finish them off if they are burning. Last Health Essence. When the wearer dies, a random ally is healed by 350 points. Automatic fusion material, but again, use it if you have nothing better to use. Shaman Staff. This one is a terrible relic in my opinion. When the turn starts, if the wearer is possessed, their power is decreased by 70 points. This is automatic fusion material. If you see Shaman Staff, fuse it into your best relic, into your healing amulet. The reason this is bad is because the condition to activate is the enemy monster needs to be possessed. However, it decreases their power. You don't want their power decreased. You want their power increased actually, because when they're possessed, they're going to attack themselves or their team. So I have no idea what is the point of this relic, unless it's just fusion material. Let us keep going, see what else we get. Spirit Staff. So here's a good example. When the turn starts, if any enemy is possessed, the target's power is increased by 40 points. So this is better than the last one. However, it's also not that great. If you saw my silver relic chest opening video, I said the same thing. it could be useful. Spirit's Trap, I gave an example with Hackster. It can be useful because you AoE hack, their power is increased, then they attack themselves, they deal more damage, it increases the likelihood of them dying. However, it's nothing too special. This is fusion material, and you're going to find that most bronze relics really are just fusion material, with the exception of maybe some essence and then the amulet, the healing amulet, which is just amazing. You're going to come to find that relics that influence stamina and health, those are the really important ones, and then normally it's the essence and amulets that are the good relics. Anyhow, Energy Banner, when the turn starts, if anywhere's life is below 50%, 25 points of stamina is given to a random ally. As much as I don't like anything that gives stamina to a random ally, this is one of those that could be useful, once again, against a General Thetis. This is a good example. If you have a General Thetis, and the enemy has a General Thetis, and you don't have the amazing gold charging banner, well, you could equip Energy Banner on your General Thetis, and just hope that when the Energy Banner activates, and you give stamina to a random ally, you can hope you give it to yourself, and then you can do Elite C troops, and that way your monsters are going to have stamina. So this is one that is also definitely fusion material. However, you should keep one for your General Thetis. Level up enough up to the point where you can activate your Elite C troops, just in case the random ally you give stamina to is to yourself. But really not a good relic. Widow Armor, when the turn starts, if any ally is dead, the warrior gains 350 points of armor. Not a big fan of this. It involves an ally dying, and the amount of armor you get isn't too much. However, like I always say, you never know when it could come in handy, so you might as well equip it if you have nothing better to use. Moving on, let's see what else we have. The Punisher Staff. When the turn starts, if a wearer is stunned, 20 points of stamina is removed from a random enemy. This is one of the more useful ones. Still bad, still fusion material, but one of the more useful ones, especially if you equip this on a monster that has AoE stun. You automatically AoE stun, and then on the next turn, whenever this relic activates, a random enemy monster is going to lose 20 points of stamina at level 1. If you choose to level it up, they'll lose more stamina. However, I really don't think you should upgrade this relic. Most of these relics, I don't feel like you should upgrade. And honestly, if I was to do a quick video, it'd just be saying it's all fusion material with the exception of a select few. This is one of those speed relics. I hate speed relics with a passion, so I don't recommend focusing your energy on any relics because they are so unpredictable. We have no idea how they work. I don't even think Social Point knows how they work. So I really wouldn't recommend investing your time in any speed manipulation relics. Moving on, we have another armor. When the turn starts, if the wearer has nightmares, it gains 350 points of armor. I would say this is automatic fusion material. You rarely come into an opponent that's going to give AoE nightmares. That's very odd. So it's very specific and not really worth investing time into. Protection Amulet. So finally another amulet. When the battle begins, 350 points of armor is given to a random ally. So what I like about this amulet, it's one of those effects that triggers when the battle begins, not at the start of the turn, at the end of a turn, after you lose 50% of your life, 75, 25% of your life, when your stamina is below, blah blah blah. No, it's at the very start of the battle. As soon as the battle begins, a random ally is giving 350 points of armor. This is a pretty good relic in the scope of bronze relics. It's not great, it's not even good when you consider the silver and gold relics, but it is a pretty good relic just in terms of bronze. If you want to have a relic that could give you a little competitive edge, especially at the early stages of the game, I would focus time on the Protection Amulet, but if you're a long-term player, then this is just a fusion material relic. Really, I think, the more I think about it, it really is only the Healing Amulet that comes to mind as a relic you want to invest time in. Spirit's Armor. When the turn starts, if any allies possess, the warrior gains 350 points of armor. This can be useful to mitigate some damage if you're possessed and you attack yourself. Let's see what else we have. Energizing Amulet. Another amulet, so this might be good. When the turn starts, if the wearer's stamina is below 50, they gain 25 points of stamina. Another relic to counter General Thetis. Like I said previously, stamina and life relics, those are the superior relics. In this case, you can counter General Thetis just with a simple relic. Level it up enough up until the point where your monster, whoever has the amulet, can do something to the enemy. So if you have a monster with 3 speed runes, the enemy has a 130 General Thetis 3 speed runes, they go first, they stamina devours, but then your monster goes next because their teammates have team speed or whatever. Hey, if your amulet activates, you recover enough stamina to do AoE possession, you possess the enemy allies, now you have 130s on your team, they attack themselves, you could end up winning the game. This is definitely a relic I would invest into. However, don't max it out, I don't think you need to. Just really give it enough to the point where you can use 1 skill, potentially 2 skills, but I wouldn't max it out. Unless you need to max it out to use 2 skills, which I doubt because on your next turn, keep in mind, this is as long as your stamina is below 50. So for legendary monsters, that's if your stamina is 70 or below, you're gonna recover X amount of stamina points because it has 2 uses. So let's say you get stamina devoured. Let's say you only have it to level, we'll say 10. I don't know what it does at 10, but let's say you recover 34 stamina. You do an attack that costs 28 stamina, and then on the next turn you're gonna recover your stamina again. So you'll still be able to use 2 skills. So Energizing Amulet I like a lot. You definitely worth investing into, but not so sure about maxing out. Let us continue. Swiftness Banner, nope. No speed manipulation relics in this video. Shaman Staff, like I said, automatic fodder. Amulets, another one. More speed relics, none of that. We don't want none of that. Earth Shaking Shield, when the turn starts, if any ally is stunned. Automatic armor, I always find that useful. However, if you look at silver and bronze relics, they're a lot more useful. So use it if you can, but that's just fodder. That's fodder to, let's see, am I healing essence? When, after being hit, if warrior's life is below 50%, it is healed by 350 points. So this is one of the better bronze relics. In the grand scheme of relics, once again, not that great. But if we just look at bronze relics, pretty good actually. After being hit, your life falls below 50%, you heal by X amount of points. Considering you're going to be facing tougher opponents, players with stronger monsters, stronger runes, stronger attacks, this could help your monster stay alive. There's better relics, there's better essence relics that are silver, that are gold. However, if you don't have them, it might be worth investing a couple relics into this to recover X amount of points. That'll give you the upper edge, especially at the beginning level. For a lot of long-term players, 350 points is nothing. But hey, like I said, if you're starting off, 350 points may help you out. So healing essence is pretty good. Like I said, the essence and the amulets you'll normally find are good. And as for all the other relics, they're really iffy. Swords are just bad. Banners for the most part are actually bad too. Like this one, when the turn starts, if warrior's life is below 50%, a random ally's max stamina. Why do I need max stamina increased? That is just automatic fusion material. And then staffs are pretty good at the silver league, not so much at the bronze league. Also pretty good in the gold league. Exhausting sword, after being hit, if target is bleeding, 12 points of stamina is removed from the affected enemy. 1 use. Another thing that's fusion material. However, if you can find a monster that can hold 2 swords, you might be able to use this somehow, some way. For example, if you have a monster that does AoE bleeding, right? And then they have 2 swords that are maxed out. I think at level 25 it removes like 36 points of stamina. So if a monster has 2, that's 72 points of stamina. So you AoE bleed and remove 50% of stamina. I'm not saying it's like the most useful plan or anything. I'm saying it's a potential strategy you could use, especially if you have another monster that did a 50%. No. Let's think differently. Let's say you did 100% stamina drain with General Thetis. Everyone recharged. Then your attacker, I think little red fairy cap, she has AoE bleed. She can hold 2 swords. Then she does her AoE bleed, and then she drains their stamina again and gives them bleed. So that's how it can work. However, investing enough bronze relics to level the 1 sword up to 25 and to do it twice over, I don't think it's worth it for that specific little combo when you have other relics you can level up. So it really depends on the player, but personally, it's most of this, like I said, just fusion material. Just fusion material. Healing Amulet, again, this is the one you want to level up, and I'll show you guys my collection at the very end of this video. Let's see what else I have. Energy Trap. This is the first trap I've seen. When the turn ends, if any enemy stamina is below 25%, removes 12 points of stamina from it. Oh, this can be pretty useful. For the most part, not really, but you never know, you know. If an enemy stamina is below 25, let's see, we start with 140. 1/4 of 140 is what? Half is 70, 35. So if the enemy has 35 stamina or below, you remove 12. And 35 minus 12, that's 27. Most monsters don't have a skill that requires 27 stamina. So if you level this up maybe 1 or 2 levels, it can prove quite significant to make them recharge on the next turn. So Energy Trap, I would say, hold off. The advice I would give everyone when you have your collection of relics, first give up the ones that are just terrible that you cannot use, and save the ones that you might potentially be able to get some use out until the very end if you're going to fuse them. Eventually you probably want to fuse the majority of bronze relics, but the Energy Trap is one that I would save until the very end. Utilize it whenever you can because it could come in handy. If anything, level it up to level 3, 4, or you know what? Maybe, no, because I feel like it's maxed out. Let me go on Wiki, I'll be right back. Alright, so I just checked on Wiki. At level 25, it actually removes 36 points of stamina, which is technically -1. At level 24, it removes 35 points of stamina, which is exactly 0. So this is one of the Energy Trap is one of those relics that it's useless to level it up all the way. 24 makes it exactly 0, but you don't even need 24. You can level it up to 22 and it removes 33 points of stamina. What monster do you know has a skill that costs 2 stamina points? Not many, not any actually come to mind. Another example is that at level 18 it removes 28 points of stamina. 35 minus 28, that's 7. Once again, what monster do you know has 7? And this also assumes that for some reason the monster has exactly 25% of their stamina left. No, most of the time a monster might have 29, 28, 27. The number can vary. So the energy trap is a relic that you don't need to max out all the way. I would say get it to like maybe 10 and you'll be solid. At level 10, it removes 20 points of stamina from any enemy monster that has 25% or less of their stamina remaining. So that's more than enough. And I think in order to get energy trap to level 10, it's probably like 5 or 6 bronze relics, so not a huge cost, so I would invest in that, especially for you beginning players. Draining Mask. After being hit, if wearer's life is below 50%, 20 points of stamina is removed from the attacker. So this is one of those that looks really useful at the beginning, and it potentially could be. However, even if you max this out, I don't recall it removing a lot of stamina. I'm going to check on Wiki right now, and I'll get back to all of you guys. So actually, if you were to level up the Draining Mask all the way to 25, it would remove 60 points of stamina from the enemy monster, which is pretty good. However, if you've seen the gold video, there's another mask that removes 40 points of stamina just after your hits, not after you're hit and your HP is below 50%, but just after being hit, which is more useful, and it removes 40 points of stamina at level 1. So can you imagine it at future levels? Whereas this bronze relic, you need to max it out all the way to 25 to remove 60 points of stamina. Nonetheless, this is one of those that could be useful. It's fusion material for the most part, but it could be useful at the early stages of the game, or if you have nothing better to use. So that Draining Mask, you probably want to hold on to it until you need to level up your other ones. Shaman Staff, this is trash. Let's keep on going. Spirit's Armor, you're possessed. I talked about this one already. Let's see, Energy Trap. Oh, that's the one we were talking about. Once again, at level 10, this trap is more than enough to potentially help you out, make the enemy monster recharge. Vitality Essence. Once the battle begins, the wearer's maximum life is increased by 1250 points. And so this could actually be a very, very useful essence. At level 25, it'll increase your monster's max HP by 15,000 points. 15,000 points, that is a lot, especially at the early stages of a game. For a monster on defense, for a monster on offense, this could seriously help you out. And so I will be recommending focusing on the Vitality Essence, especially for your new turn players that don't have other better relics. Plus, what I like about this, as opposed to like, is it the silver, the gold one of the other essence that increase a monster's HP, is that the other one is random. I think it's the silver one, or is it the gold one? I think it's the silver one. It increases at level 1 a random monster's max HP by 7,700 points. That's cool and all, but it's random. The Vitality Essence, on the other hand, it is the wearer, and if you have it at level 25, 15k more HP. That is quite menacing, so I will say keep those, definitely keep those. Charging Armor. After being hit, if wearer stamina is below 25 points, gain some stamina, you'd like those. Let's see what else we have. Last Wish Shield, when the wearer dies. Nope, not a fan of that, but hey, might as well use it if you can. Drummer's Banner, we talked about that already. Collect, and I think we are... Mask of Darkness, this is new. After being hit, if the wearer's life is below 50%, it deals 150 points of dark damage. That's really gonna help you out. Definitely not worth maxing out. Even maxed out, it doesn't deal that much damage. Yep, just as I feared, even if you were to max this out, level 25 fused a bunch of bronze relics into it, it would only deal 2,280 points of damage. That is not a lot, in my opinion. Even at the early stages of the game, to invest all those resources to max it out, definitely not worth it. Alright, now more same armor, more fusion material, anything else? Despair Armor, I think that might have been new, but maybe I'll get another one. Energy Banner, when the turn starts, if a wearer's life is below 50 points. I think I said this could be useful, right, on General Thetis. Let's see, Last Health Essence, when the wearer dies, random ally is healed, not that great, because it's a random ally. Energizing Amulet, this one I liked a lot. Charging Armor, this one I like. Once again, anything that involves HP, anything that involves stamina, those are pretty good relics. When the turn starts, if wearer is stunned, 20 points of stamina is removed from a random enemy. This could be useful, just AoE stun and go from there. Let's see, I feel like most of the stuff is going to just start repeating. Despair Shield, when the turn starts, if any ally's life is below 25%, that is a low activation condition, or I guess pretty high activation condition. it most likely won't activate. For a monster to get below 25% HP, I feel like they're probably just gonna die before they get to that requirement. But if they do happen to be on the verge of death, they will gain some points of shield, 210 at level 1, 6,290 points at level 2, which is actually quite significant at the early stages of the game. But again, for it to actually activate, your monster needs to not die, but be within 25% of its HP. And then, I don't know how I feel about it. My biggest problem with bronze relics is that their effects compared to silver and gold, they just don't do as much, right? If you see the description, 210 points of armor, there's a heavy duty armor that triggers as soon as you're hit. Not when your HP falls below 75, 50, or 25%. As soon as your hit triggers, and at level 1 you get like 9,650 HP. So just compare the conditions, right? Bronze relic, trend starts, your HP has to be below any of your teammates. HP has to be below 25%. That ally gains 210 points of armor. Whereas the other one is, as soon as you're hit, automatic almost 10k shield. Now the main difference with this skill is that the spare shield could work on a monster that can't hold the shield relic. But you know, it's a bronze, so can't give it too much hate. Let's see what else we have. Despair Mask. Did we talk about this one? Yeah. Oh, deals 150 points of physical damage. Once again, not great at all. That is fusion material. Last shield wish we talked about, fusion material. And cold trap. Oh, the cold trap. I am so glad I didn't stop the video and we got a chance to talk about the cold trap. When the turn ends, if enemy is frozen, 12 points of stamina is removed from it. This is a really good one that you want to max out, especially if you have a monster with AoE freeze. So especially if you have Kihaku. Kihaku can hold 2 traps. Kihaku does AoE freeze and AoE possession. And so at level 25, this will remove 36 points of stamina from the target that's frozen. So if you have Kihaku, you AoE freeze, and you're running both traps level 25, they're gonna lose 72 stamina points, and then they get immobilized. And let's say that on the next turn they don't get frozen, but they get possessed. Well, then they're gonna use stamina attacking themselves, and Kihaku can essentially do it all. You know, with the relics now he can stamina drain. His skills allow him to stun. No, his basic skill allows him to freeze and possess, and his ultimate allows him to stun. He can regeneration. He's just amazing. But he's the monster that they want to put 2 cold traps on. And if you don't have Kihaku, just any monster that you can AoE freeze with, you want to give him cold traps. Hopefully the freeze lands, the stamina drain lands, and then maybe you have another monster that does 50% stamina drain, and essentially you've frozen all the enemy monsters and you've drained all of their stamina. So cold trap is another of those amazing relics that you definitely want to keep, you want to max out, and you want to capitalize on it. So cold trap, pretty good one, but above all, really the healing amulet is where it's at. So despair armor, I'm gonna go a few more rounds to see if there's anything else we need. So let's keep on going. Enraged Banner. When the turn starts, if the wearer's life is below 50%, a random ally's power is increased by 70 points. That is so weak, that is not worth it. Especially because it's a random ally. Regeneration Essence. Here we go, another of the healing essence. When the turn starts, if the wearer's life is below 75%, it is healed by 350 points. What I like about this is that it doesn't have one of those really hard to activate requirements, you know. When the wearer's life is below 25%, that's kind of difficult because, like I said, if a monster is that close to dying, most likely they're going to die. Whereas this is going to activate really early on in the game. So if you happen to not lose that much, you can recover good amounts. Let me max this out and see how much you can exactly restore. Oh shoot, and yeah, this is actually really good. So if you max it out to level 25, you can heal 21,565 points. That is enough to max you out, even if you drop to like 50% of your HP. It really depends on the monster, right? But you heal exactly 21,565 points. Now, once again, the healing amulet is significantly better. But if you can't hold an amulet and you can hold an essence, you want the Regeneration Essence. And you definitely want to be sure to max it out, because like the difference in levels is night and day. For example, at level 21, you heal 12,000 HP points. At level 22, it's 14,000. At level 24, it's 18,890. And again, at level 25, it's 21. So that's a lot of points. That's like 3,000 per level. You definitely want to make sure it's maxed out to get the most out of your relic. So Regeneration Essence, big fan of. The Healing Amulet, I'm a huge fan of. Cold Trap for freeze monsters, for Kihaku especially, big fan of that. Cold Staff, what does this do? When the turn starts, if wearer is frozen, It deals 150 points of special damage to random enemy. That is more that is more fusion material. Charge mask, good for anti-thetes. Lots of the bronze relics I think are lots of the bronze relics I really believe are a good counter to stamina drain monsters, specifically general thetes, especially for your newer players that can't afford an expensive general thetes from the team shop or can't afford a monster to counter. Just get yourself a bronze relic and you'll be good. Let's see, healing essence. After being hit, if warrior's life is below 50 points, it is healed by 350 points. And so here we have another really good relic that involves healing. Once again, I told you guys, the essence and the amulets, those are the really good relics. So, also at level 25, this will heal by 21,565. The difference is, when do these different relic activates? The healing essence, the one you can see right now, is after being hit if your life is below 50%. The regeneration essence is when the churn ends if the warrior's life is below 75%. Difference in when they activate, one is after your hits and the requirement of being 50%. The other is when the churn ends and the warrior's life is below 75%. Nonetheless, I think both are really good. As for which one I like more, it's the one that has the requirement of 75% because there's a higher likelihood of it activating when you need it. Whereas the 50%, you might be thinking, yeah, it's better it activates when my life is a little lower so I can recover more. But what if you had like 60% of your HP and then the enemy monster attacks you and just wipes you out, takes away your rest of the 60%? It's not going to activate, it's not going to trigger. So that's why I like them both. So healing essence is good. Basically, advice to everyone, general advice you can give to people: if you get an essence or a amulet that's bronze, save those for the very last thing that you're going to fuse away into other ones, whether it be silver or gold relics. Everything else, the banners, the swords, you can automatically fuse those without much regret. Even the traps, like if you get rid of gold trap, it's a bronze relic, you'll probably get more. But in terms of amulets and essence, they're pretty good, so don't just do away with them. Save those for the very end, fuse everything else. I would say start with the swords. The swords are probably the most useless relics. And then move on to and then I'm talking about bronze right now, not every relic. But yeah, the swords, get rid of them. After that, staffs, bronze staffs, get rid of them. And then after that, probably armor. Armor's not really that needed unless it's a stamina. Same for mask. Unless it's a stamina one to counter general thetes, you don't really need it. Restoring essence, the cool thing about this when compared to the other ones, the requirement to trigger is when it's any of your allies is 25%. However, it has 2 uses. Whereas the other ones, the regeneration essence and the healing essence, those are only a one-time use. Restoring essence has 2 uses, but at max level it only heals by 12,000. And it only triggers when it's 25% HP, so you're still going to be close to dying. So just something to keep in mind. See? 1 use, whereas before it was 2 uses with the other essence. So I think I've pretty much gone over everything. Let me maybe go down to 60 or 50 if there's nothing new. I'll end the video there. But just a quick recap, like I said, swords get rid of, banners get rid of, armors pretty much get rid of. You just want to save the amulets, you want to save the essences for the very end if you are planning on fusing them away. Until then, just utilize them, try them out in wars, in PvP, wherever you can. What else? If you find a healing amulet, keep it. If you find the essences, pretty much keep them all and then decide which one you want. And then for the masks and for everything else that involves stamina, recovery, if it falls below 25%, 50%, whatever, you want to save those because they do counter general thetes. And yeah, I do believe I've been through pretty much everything. Like I said, lots of these relics could be used, but it's not worth investing other relics into them just to, I don't know, do a fun little combo. It's not worth it. If you want to progress, if you want to be competitive, you really got to focus on the ones that matter. Oh, and I hate speed manipulation relics. Just please don't use them. If you do use them, just know that who knows what you're getting into, who knows what your opponent is getting into. We have no way of predicting how they work, and they always appear to be glitchy. So, oh, this is new. When the turn starts, if the warrior's life is below 50%, a random ally's max life. Yeah, not good at all. So, it does have 2 uses, but not good. I'm just going to open the 50 relics, put some music in the background. If you guys want to watch, continue to watch. If not, I understand. It might be all pretty boring from there. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Only fuse relics if there's a boost, a 20% boost. That way you get 20% more use out of your relics. Otherwise, you're going to be paying 20% more cost. So that's the only advice I can give you guys. Really hope this video was helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you all next time.